So we are going to kick things off here. Nature goes to Killjoy, JC Stani on Omen, Shot Up playing as Reyna, Chemicals not playing as Jet here, playing as Raze.
It rings the alarm for a couple of players moving forward. Nature's playing the backside. Now a big paranoia as Nature gets the first kill onto Sinatra. So they even things up on a 4-4, but he's stuck in the back. He still manages to get a second one before he eventually gets dropped by Sick. But Gangsta's already rotated. It's a 2 versus 1. Immortals on the disadvantage as Dapper.
More, or if we're still going to see a heavy defensive side, we'll have to see how the game's slowly developed. Shazam. And now they've got a potential lineup on players coming through from spawn as JC Stani here's the reload. Can't get there in time with the classics. Immortals is going into this with a full save. Sentinels should easily close out the remainder of the players for INT, and they'll get that spike plant as well to guarantee that things are going to be nice and simple for them.
Definitely. You have nothing but classics into this round. You want to make sure you have... And he manages to fall back with a heal, but that's a big wall already out of the way.
Yeah, that's a lot of utility spent early on by their sat for an attempted early advantage that they ultimately get, but not because of their own work. It's because of an aggressive push that comes through. Shazam equalizes the score as a nade lands in his lap. He has to use the tailwind to get away. We saw Killjoy playing towards B early on, now playing towards ropes. That's been the success story for a lot of players who play as Killjoy on the map. Third round res coming out from Sick. So illustrating orb can...
Is kind of like a mirror match towards his B main. They have soul orbs, they have the walls, they have paint shells to counter back, and he's able to support as well with the crossfire to get the first few kills. And still being able to play towards that B heaven, he still has the boom bot, as I mentioned before, they can throw towards that mid side to get more information here. But as they slowly...
The buy round from Sentinels. As they laid down an early wall yet again. Sick broke through that pretty quickly. Sinatra is going to take out Gangsta, who is up.
Already along the line of pillar, backside, and B main. Dapper is on that lurk again, and he manages to capitalize with a kill onto Nature, which means now the defense numbers dwindles down on this retake, and it's just perfect positioning now. They didn't expect that Sinatra was going to be on the top of that billboard, and now Shot Up. The only kill that he got, slow creep that Sentinel's been doing. But
Chemicals is dropped very early in the round. That op not really worth the value invested. Nice quick shot from sight, often coming up late if they go towards B through mid. And it seems like this time they're going to go back towards Dapper. They're going to have to run into all of this utility laid out from Nature. They know the turret's here. They could use a smoke potentially to force that out of position, but never mind.
Him down. But after they see that it's a little bit quiet, try to team up on that buddy system. And this is something that, or a concept that we talk about a lot when we were first casting this game, very similar to other tactical shooters, is the buddy system that Sentinels have. 2 players trying to work towards B main, 2 players towards mid, and then you have Dapper just lurking on the A side. Once you take control of these trades that you saw were immediate towards the mid side, and they also got a do-or-die position from Chemicals up on towards B site, then you fall back as a team, you continue as a group, and you continue to play for these trades. Sentinels are very good for this type of positioning to just allow numbers advantage in the process, but with winning 5 rounds in a row, you're okay with losing all of that too. You just wanted to make it more expensive for Immortals on that previous round.
Again, we see this opening kill towards B. We have seen that happen almost every single round. I like the dismiss there to get away from the boom bot, so Shot Up can at least get some revenge for his teammates.
He's always self-boosting at the same time, so he could maybe wide swing onto Heavens. Nice shot by Shazam to pick out Shot Up, but you saw how they tried to hold it back for Immortals. They didn't really have a fight back from B Heaven. They actually fought back from default with 2 players peeking out in that area. They make it an early advantage at the beginning, but after that, losing this player early for Shot Up towards the B Heavens, the control is back at the Sentinel.
And Nature can't really do much about this. Now, Nature does have their the lockdown.
Want to risk that at least to try to get a couple of frags, because as we mentioned, the economy is still very good here for
Shazam. 9-3 performance from the Jet All-Star for Sentinels. After the round was already over, those kills came through. Now here's an aggressive play we haven't seen from them yet. Immortals wants to take a fight inside B main. There's players waiting around the corner. Good leer, but they did line up a couple first, and there's the res coming through. So this is one of the few times that we've seen Immortals in a control position in a round with an advantage. They're going to be moving back over towards A with the spike. A bulk of the defense is currently on B. It's going to have to be a retake unless Nature can do something about this. And you can see them slowly sneaking their way in, trying to get that spike across, but Dapper's made it all the way across site. And Nature's just playing this one passive the way that he should.
Exactly, because they have the lockdown. That's another reason why he wants to play this
Now they
passive. But
don't.
unfortunately, Dapper goes for the lurk through the smoke, and that cancels out the lockdown for the attempt of a retake. Shazam on the top of the A ramp, another to fall, and just like that, in the blink of an eye, it's a 3 versus 3 with the Spike Planet at the default spot. Can this be doable for a retake? Potentially here, because you have ARs coming for the retake for Immortals, and Shut Up is already on the top of heaven, dropping to hell. Oh, as Zoms backs up into him, it's just going to be an easier retake. Now, as an open site, the last two lurking on A-ramp still. Now you force the blade storm out. Shazam trying to come across, and he's going to get... Oh, actually, he gets the headshot into Shot Up. Now, as they're trying to defuse, he misses the right click, and the defuse will come in favor of the Immortals to put the first point on the scoreboard. Finally, to get it done.
I actually really like that attempt from Shazam.
Yes.
If there weren't a dark cover there, maybe things work out a little bit differently. Maybe that right click connects. Still not exactly the most perfect round for IMT based on the way that it started. Things could have gone so much better for them, but it all started to fall apart off that lurk. So here's the early round where they go for that 3-player peak. They get the res as well. And Shot Up comes in and drops one. Shazam not able to connect on the right click. Looking for the shots, was unable to find it. So the round is Immortals to take. But even if they win out at this point, 6-6 is not exactly what one would call an ideal half from the defensive side of Split. It's where you needed to see them get off to a great start. This has been anything but. There's the ult being popped, but no, the rocket doesn't come out.
Looking for an answer on this aggression towards the B garage. A 2 versus 2 didn't work. Passive play for retake on B didn't work. Big flank from Stani, by the way. But now as they push 3 players, it works out. So that's the second round in a row they do it, using 2 ultimates for 2 rounds in a row. Now they'll have a little bit less to work with as we move into the next round. But before we get into the next round, we still have a Spike Planet for Sentinels on a 1-minute advantage, where again, potential where they reset the economy, and it starts with Dapper. Headshot onto Shot Up, and Sinatra's now running in with that showstopper, looking for his opponent. Cannot, stops the lockdown, and that's a good way to pull out a utility, which means now Immortals has even less moving into the next round, with Nature now moving up on the Raptors.
Yeah, Sinatra was in a great position in hell there, and that's exactly where he sends Nature. Absolutely terrible right now for IMT. So what do you do when you're in this situation? You can see JC Stanley's got enough to stinger and armor and still have some money left over for the next round for a buy. IMT starts 1-0, hence the score at the top, despite this being the first match.
I like
and
this.
Here's an aggressive play. I like this too.
Yeah, Satchel Charge, bait it out, try to trade with the low rifles that you have with the stack. Aggressive from Immortals down mid. But now it's still a 4 versus 4. They've given up the B site, which means Sick is now able to take advantage of it. Sinatra is there on the other side of the wall, but JC Stani, the only weapon that was purchased with that Stinger, gets the first frag, but he's down at 8 HP. He could put a smoke story towards B main. They're done for Immortals at the beginning.
Shazam throws the op away, favoring the rifle. It's not completely out of play, but wants to have the rifle, given that it's 3-on-3, and also doesn't want to give it up and has plenty of money to buy it again. So it's the logic behind just putting that one out of play. There's going to be a heal that comes through. That's actually going to give away his position. There's an audible cue that comes out from that, but it doesn't scare JC Stanley. At least it looked like we were seeing a heal, but he's still sitting low on 8 HP. I thought for a second we got it, but maybe...
Oppositions too coming in on this B side, where they have 4 players actually from Immortals stacked up in that side, giving up mid completely as Nature was trying to take an off angle. But as they lose this player, they open up the A site, and that is going to be confirmed by the Neural Theft.
Ult utilized by JC Stanley to get towards elbow. Quickly taken care of by Six. Shot Up is in position on the other side of screens, but there's a wall that's gone down from Sage, and he has no choice but to blast through it. Shazam in position, should be able to get a quick kill on Chemicals, and does. The Odin betrays Sinatra, but it's still a player advantage for Sentinels. The 3-on-2 with the spike planted, and again, who else would you see on the flank other than Dapper? And I don't think they have any reason to believe that this is happening. There's the first kill coming out onto Gangsta. The last player remaining is Shot Up on site. Empress available, has decided not to use it. It's another
take control of A site, and that confirms again, always open sites, because you're putting so many numbers for Immortals onto the B site, it doesn't pay off. Now they go back to a default, this 2-1-2, trying to pressure back versus Shazam and Dapper on the A side. Well, surprise, they're actually focusing back on the B side, where they have more numbers eventually versus this push, especially with Sinatra with the judge. first one to fall is Gangsta, jumping around for the second kill onto Chemicals, and a big dark cover doesn't allow JC Stein to get any kills, and the B side is open just like that for Sentinels.
It feels like Sentinels have really not met much resistance. Team have at least seemed to be catered towards A with some damage that was dealt early in mid. The nice paranoia coming out from Zoms.
2 rounds that they got, I think, was the first round where they finally pushed 3 players inside Garage, and they had a res. They keep Immortals guessing for Sentinels, and they just take advantage of it every single time, and the weaknesses are done from these picks.
Oh, you really hate to see it. Shazam just gets vertical, and Nature just didn't stand a chance. Shazam with the updraft and the Blade Storm. Unfortunate for Nature, who was trying his best to play defense on this A site. Shot up, at least able to get some revenge for his fallen comrade. Drops in with Empress active, spots out that player immediately there. Shot up, still in position, but Immortals looks like they might close it out here in the first half with a round win they desperately needed. Sinatra is all the way across the map. This time it was his turn to lurk, and it doesn't work out so well. Still strong, and we still don't really know what to expect from them on the attacking side. Maybe things will turn around, look a little bit better for them. Dapper continues in the rampage. They try to dive down into the ropes, and it is just not good at all.
They did such a good job for Immortals to bait out so much utility charges to try to come in, and that's what they're doing here, and let's see if they can trade it out.
I mean, they're going to be trying to take out Zoms, who's playing on the site. Shot up makes quick work of them. Sick, though, with just a frenzy. Great shooting on that angle hold. Now, the spike will be planted, and it's a 4-on-4. It's a great opportunity for them, but Sinatra came in with the nade, flies into the site as well. Sinatra's going on a rampage. And just like that, they're back in the site. 3 players survive. The defense that should have been strong. They had
play aggressive, play in their face, which is the play style that Immortals and LG kind of have versus Sentinels too, where they got.
It is important to note that when we saw what their options were, either this or Haven, we knew neither one would work out well to kick off the series for IMT. We ultimately expected Sentinels to take this first map. And I think Immortals think they didn't want somebody else to see because it's not working out so well for them. That said, they do at least have site control here. It's a 3-on-2. The opportunity is there. They managed to get the spike down, but it's come down to a 1-on-1, and Zoms with the sidearm still able to win it. So despite the numbers advantage, Site just 1 away from taking us into map number 2 with a 1-1 tie score.
And weapon advantage. They're sending a message here, Rock. It's not like, hey, we're off here and there. It's just like, hey, I mean, there's a rant that came on from Shazam earlier on in the week there that you guys could probably find in the forums. But it shows how any type of playstyle that they want to play for Sentinels, it worked with.
I'm not scared, worried, or concerned. Sinatra goes to this weapon all the time, more typically when he's playing the role of Sova. There's the ult being utilized as well. The rocket's going to come out. It's right behind Chemicals. That's the 3rd on the round for Sinatra. And just like Sinatra sets the team up for success as Dapper comes in and picks up.
Maybe a Sinatra and Zoms, a Dapper and Sick. But for this round, we're finally into pistol. And this time, it's going to be 8 frenzies instead of 9. But it looks to be a potential bloodbath towards you very soon.
Well, hopefully you meant U-Haul and not me specifically. I'm not prepared for that. We'll see what's going to happen here. Sick gets the first pickup on the round. Nature dropped, and that kind of scares them away a little bit. You can see them backing off after the initial push didn't work out so well. No IMT, we'll see what ends up happening. There's the push into the site. The camera's going to give away the first position. Dapper's taken down, a shot up, moves into sight. JC Stanny with the execution as well onto Shazam. There's the portal play with both players coming through. Sick now has to make a move as the hot hands comes through. The nade is out as well. Good damage coming down. And we're suddenly back in an advantage here for Sentinels. Just like that, you snap your fingers and they're back on the site. So they got great openings for IMT, but they couldn't control the site. Yet again, their post plants. It's not working out for them here in the pistol.
Did get surprised going to the B site, but the retake was just well done for Sentinels. Again, playing for a setup. Those kills went out so fast, so they were ready for immediate trades. This round, quick rush, split from Immortals into this B side, jumping in the air, trade back and forth, as it's not so bad to start for the Immortals.
Last player standing.
Again, Sentinels rock solid. Nice shot from Gangsta. Point blank range with the sheriff. Try to slow down the push. That allows Dapper to get into the corner. Dapper from distance able to find a quick kill. Zoms is there as well. And again, the SMGs proving to be way more powerful in the hands of Sentinels than the rifles are for IMT. The last player on the site is trying to escape through the showers. JC Stanley just wants to get a spike plant out of this. Six says, no way, not on my watch. The last remaining player is Gangsta. And while he's back on his trusty Sova, there's not really much that can be done here. Just looking to take out one or two more players and then save the rifle yet again. Has the ult to bring into the next round, but it's another one on the scoreboard, and there's Zoms. Here, though, they look buttery smooth.
Oh, yeah.
As it's IMT who is having a difficult time against them. Now, as I say that, I cast or curse it a bit for the Sentinels fans in chat.
Standard.
Sick is the lone defender now, getting flashed out, has to be careful. I'm not sure they spotted him inside that smoke. That'll allow him to stay in this position a little while longer. The bullets pouring through the wall from the Odin, you can guess who's got that one. Sick finally pokes his head out, but the biggest problem, look where the spike is. So far away from the play that they couldn't really make a move. Luckily for them, in the meantime, Gangsta kind of snuck up on this A site, got behind them, and now they've got a player advantage, and they've got that ult to work with as well. So they've got Hunter's Fury to try and make this a little bit easier. They've got to face off against Sick and Sinatra first, though.
Yeah, Sinatra, he has 2 blast packs if he wants to like try to jump into the site. For Sick, I'm pretty sure he has a couple of curveballs still, sorry, but we have great positioning for Immortals. Looking to double up, there's that curveball from Sick, but the double peek from JC Stein and his teammate from you, leaving Sinatra by his lonesome. First contact is coming in from the showers, and that's going to spot Gangsta. Again, still having his ult, so he can fall all the way back towards spawn just to make sure that he guarantees this round. We tap the spike, we're trying to bait it out, but we don't even need it. The A side too, and then when that boombot came out and he shot it out, you think that the attack was going to come towards B, but shot up. This round is going to come with the run it back to clear out, create some space. Hunter's Fury to be countered by Shazam. Same thing to come to try to take it down. It's going to be Legolas mirrored. But still, nobody getting kills out of that one, but the space has been created. The site is almost taken as Sinatra is still at the A cubby. Raining damage still for 2 kills, make that 3 into the round. And just like that, just 1 more to go.
It's not really what you want to see. Sick taken out pretty quickly, though, by Shot Up with just a stinger. That's a fast kill coming in from them as well, and it looks like they want to explode off this potentially. Shot Up's taken out, and they've also got to worry about this player that's coming through. That's the ult being popped. At least Chemicals got the kill first. But the rocket is delivered, and in the end, it'll be brought down to 2. Nice paranoia coming out. Dapper's got to move behind the box, manages to find safety, and then just says, I see your spray, and I give you just a few bullets to the skull. Gangsta alone. It's a 1v2. The Aldrone's going to go out in response to the Aldrone that initially tagged him. Good movement to go inside the smoke. But the bullets are going to come through, and it's an interesting battle between the Sovas with some backup coming in from their Omen. That'll be Zoms, who's up now on top of the box. Nice paranoia coming out. Gangsta just hides inside the smoke, and the round goes the way of Sentinels. More of the hookah. The Chemicals and Shot Up trying to move in. Now there is going to be one on site. That is Shazam with some support coming in as well. Ult's been popped by JC Stanley. That's from the shadows, allowing him to get into a site. A high nade does some damage as it rains out over the site. Sinatra's dropped by his counterpart on the other side, Chemicals. Shazam just spamming through that smoke, looking to do some damage. But it's actually Dapper who drops the spike planter Nature through the bin, making things a little bit more palatable for Sentinels. Chemicals will have to go back in, scoop up the spike, and go for the plant. They're not prepared for Sick, who's already on the flank coming through from Hookah. We've still got Dapper in spawn, but it's a quick shot coming out from JC Stanley to make things easier for them. Sick still doing great work. Popped the ult as he got shot, so it's a 1-2 punch, but Shazam gonna line up 2, and some insurance bullets at the end as well, just to make sure reincarnation is not going to be a factor in the round. 6-1 for Sentinels. Back to the B site they go. Chemicals gonna fly out. Sick with a curveball to slow it down. You can hear the damage dealt to his teammate through that smoke. Grunt. But it's Sick who's basically making this look easy.
I did. But outside of that, they're not able to hold these pulse plants and these openings. What can work? They're going to try to work with a showstopper, trying to push out towards the back of the site. We have, actually connects onto the octagon, onto Chemicals. Gangsta's trying to clear up towards the octagon at the same time.
Zoms. Actually bested by Nature. I thought for sure
Same here.
Zoms was going to win that 1v1. But now they've got a decent opportunity. Cybercage is going to go down. The tripwire was taken out immediately. Shazam has to be careful as paranoia prevents him from really being able to do much on top of the Cybercage and dark cover that were present on top of him. Dapper up in heaven.
Right here.
Finding a shot onto shot up. Gangsta's in the corner by Cubby. And JC Stanley's got the crossfire. This is a great setup for IMT. They should be able to win this round with the numbers advantage and the positions that they've got. There's the boombot coming through first. That'll give away the position. And yeah, pretty quickly goes the way of IMT. That's Sinatra's in a great position right now. Oh no, the timing. Sinatra looks away at the worst possible second. Likely would have been able to find a pickup there. I like the move though, getting vertical on top of the box. It's a bit risky given the lack of sight control. But look at the positions right now. So many players over on the side of U-Haul. There's going to be a brawl in this direction. It's a back and forth volley of kills. 1 for 1 for 1. Zom's now moving in, gets the best of JC Stanley. There's one around the corner. Curveball's right inside of his face. That shot up coming out on top of it. It's going to be a 1v1. It's shot up versus Shazam. Shazam is towards the site, has not yet tapped the spike. Shot up's coming around the bend. And Shot Up does what Shot Up does best. It's a clutch round coming in for IMT and a third round on the board comes as well. The Omen. They use the blast pack to take out any hardware that could be down. Sinatra's going to try and go for the swan dive, but ends up clunking his head on the side instead and gets dropped by nature. There's still one on the site. The flash comes through and Zoms doesn't really have a choice. Tries to go for the peek but can't see much.
Here.
And the site is lost. The flank comes through, but the run it back expires before he's able to do any damage. It's a 3-on-5 retake. Another promising look for IMT.
Yeah, especially after that running back being canceled. It's such a long rotate for Sick, as everybody else from Sentinels is still waiting for him, the ones that are still alive. So that wastes a lot of time onto this spike that's currently taken down. And again, it's still great positioning. It's down to a 4 versus 2. You're starting to maybe give up on these on this retake attempt for Sentinels. As with these SMGs, maybe they're looking for a double peak or something, but they are very low on the economy, so I think you should try to save these last 2 weapons. First curveball, he misses the blaze wall for them to try to cross, so that just makes it a lot easier here for Shut Up and JC Stani to just pick up the last 2 kills. 7-4 right now, so good 3 rounds in a row. 1 more to go, and it was a long rotate again for Sentinels. They have an open sight, but now Sick tries to run through after the owl drone came out. But it's still gonna lose. He's still gonna lose that fight versus Chemicals. Now, as he satchel charges, speaking about Chemicals on the top of the green boxes, it's gonna be an easy plant. Pulse plant on a 5 versus 3. Nothing really in terms of ultimates for a retake for Sentinels. They have probably a paranoia in the hands of Zoms that could maybe help them out on this retake. And Sinatra's making his way on a big flank with Shazam.
As a Cypher main, I'm always impressed by Ray's main's movement. That blast pack utilization from Chemicals to get on top of the double stack in sight. I always marvel at that. It's now down to just 1 remaining player. It's problems, though, for them in that first half was dealing with Sick. And we'll see how things shape up for them. I like the play coming in currently from Sentinels. They use the Shock Dart to take any Cypher hardware that would be down on short out of the equation, but they take significant damage on the intent to move up. They're still committing to this site, and it's a bloodbath right now as it's come down to a 3-on-3, and they still don't have sight control, so what do? They pull the ripcord and try to get out. Chemicals does prevent Shazam from being able to rotate out. Look at the health that's remaining currently. You've got 1 HP, and with that Shock Dart coming in, a little bit scary. Going full pucker on the clench. And it's going to come down to that last player. Can he get killed by a dart? Is that possible? That would be amazing.
No.
Shots through the bin, though, so it doesn't matter.
Nice wallbang, too, with the classic to get the kill in the end for Chemicals. And as I talked about Chemicals and that oof that I made, that long range that he had from heaven onto Shazam to try to rotate onto the B teleporter was actually
coming through from Portal. Hot Hands does go down to prevent the flank, but now they're sewn in. They're stuck into these positions. They're going to have to fight their way out of it. The nade comes through, but the kills are piling up right now for Sentinels, and they know what that means for them opportunity-wise. The A site is vacant, and you can see the defense currently starting to rotate back around through spawn. They're not going to get there in time. So Sentinels will be able to set up a spike plant here as the recon dart will give away the positions. They've already got one charging in. It's a headshot dink coming out for Nature, but the fatality, not a problem. Chemicals has to come in and do the remainder of the dirty work. It's a 2-on-3 numbers advantage for Sentinels.
Still very good with the amount of headshots they're getting with these stingers, because after these fights, even if they lose it, either it's Immortals or Sentinels, the person that they lost against is still low on HP, so still very doable for a retake, as Chemicals is only at 32 HP. If they could actually win this from a flank coming in from Sinatra, catches him in a reload, unfortunate there. And
they win the pistol and can't muster up enough. the round that follows. Nice curveball coming around the corner. Sick was ready for this setup potentially. This aggressive play gets picked apart early on and they're forced to fall back. The plan is not panning out so well, especially with Sinatra spotting out Chemicals over on the B site. Now the dart is in the belly of Nature, who's over by Showers. You've got Shot up in position, just looking to line one up. Has to watch out for the shock darts. They go a little bit too deep. They've got a good crossfire with the pistols. Another shock dart comes in, but it's actually the classic work of Nature that's doing a bulk of the damage, despite the fact that Shot up's the one that got the kill. You've got Gangsta coming through from spawn. You've got Nature and Showers. You've got JC Stanley starting to rotate around. But another pickup on the round for Sentinels means it's a lot harder here for the last remaining player. And oh god, no one saw that.
It's one of those things, and when you're trying to shoot somebody from behind, it's just so difficult to land it right in the head, like, where you want it to be. So, yeah, a little bit stressful. At least he capitalizes on that, and he didn't invest that much. Ooh. And there you go. He redeems himself with a nice right click in the face of Sinatra. Picks up a weapon in the process. Sorry, as he comes.
Shazam was way more dialed in with the op than Chemicals was in map number 1. But then again, we didn't really get to see the op played too much for IMT, as money was a consistent problem. Here's that Showers play we've seen from them before, but that's exactly what we were talking about. Oh Dapper just slides out, and that should not happen. You have the op on top of the bin, positioned there specifically to prevent that play from being possible. So the very least you'd hope if your op goes down, you get a trade, but no. Dapper on the duck slide back across, sprays one through the wall, and things are just falling apart here. Six gonna use the ult, run it back, getting him out of Showers. Sinatra gets vertical yet again, as we've seen him do time and time again. And now Gangsta is the last player alive and likely would be better off saving, going back to the B site and grabbing the op that was dropped by Chemicals.
Well executed there for Sentinels at the beginning of this round. From all angles, actually. Showers' control was pretty perfect from the way it was done. For Sentinels, you saw that they utilized, it was a paranoia from the defender side to go against an owl drone, and then they go for shock darts on the attacker side.
Portal. Again, you've got Sinatra up on top of the double boxes using the blast pack to get a little bit more verticality, but it's a nice pick-off. Nature from distance with the stinger, able to cash in. Now Six got into backside sight. The rocket actually does manage to land somehow from significant distance post-mortem as well. There's a Hunter's Fury being utilized by the defense. Gangsta sending some shots out from the Sheriff afterwards as well. They've got a player advantage, but they don't really have the firepower. They're going to have to face off against the rifles. Zoms is sneaking onto the site.
30 seconds left.
There's one currently in U-Haul, and Shot up again with the Stinger. The SMGs have proved to be very good for Immortals when they've needed them. In a pinch, they can go to those weapons and find some success. And they find a thrifty round.
A little bit of damage onto Zoms, but does not capitalize on the kill, which now Sinatra tries to move in with the showstopper and gain ground. Meanwhile, one to fall courtesy of Sick inside the A site.
The showstopper ults right now working out quite nicely, more specifically for Sinatra than for his counterpart on Immortals. Immortals, are down a player, but Chemicals does end up bringing it back and making it a 3-on-3. The site on B is completely empty, so they force the defense to stack up towards A. Now they'll get a free spike plant out of this, and they even have time to set up for solid post-plant positions. What they don't anticipate is this cam from Nature. So Nature can use that camera to spot out player positions, but there's no one on the site. They're playing back off of this a little bit further away. They do have Neural Theft, so if they can find a kill here and Nature can toss out that hat, it'll give away the remaining players' positions. That shock dart might make it a little easier, but the Neural Theft is completely eliminated as a threat. And again,
get damaged that much by it, but they are trying to do a lot of pressure towards this hookah while the rest are moving behind, are running back from Sick and an owl drone, but unfortunately no kills out of that.
Shazam says it's okay. I'll try to find the kills with my ult. From distance, those pulses pour out through the walls. And that'll be Chemicals, who's now watching from the sidelines. I feel like we've seen so many damage-based ults from Sentinels land successfully in this second half and in this the first half of this map specifically. It's just been something they have way more frequently than the players on IMT, and when IMT has it, they don't seem to be landing nearly as many of those. Now, JC Stanley will find one player coming through the Showers, but Zoms is there with immediate trade back. JC Stanny is still on site, trying to do some damage, takes down his Omen counterpart, his doppelganger. He's stuck behind default boxes as the spike goes down. Good cover coming in from the team. Spam not really going to do much there through that box. So Sentinels again can set up a post plant, a position they are very scary in, and you've got this slow play coming through the showers from Dapper. That is so incredibly scary. Now the position was given away by the neural theft, so that'll prevent the surprise from being a factor, but they've still got to deal with this player who's in U-Haul. They try to spin back, but they just can't keep their
Short 8 and Hookah, but we are trying to fight back here as Chemicals is trying to spray with the Singer through the smoke, puts one at low HP, a double peek, but a body block, unfortunately, as two, or should I say, a first one falls towards Hookah.
Gangsta somehow survives with 1 HP. JC Stanny, who was trying to take this fight early on short, spent his paranoia, but still uses dark cover to at least get one before being taken out. It's a 3-on-3 again with 45 seconds. Nature does have that great flank, like you said, coming through after pushing through from showers. Are they prepared? They do turn around, but not in time. The rifle's going to get picked up by Nature. Great shooting coming in, and they're not out of this one yet. Shot up from up on heaven, squeezes a bullet over the top of the box. And we'll find number 8 for IMT. They're going to need to win 4 more in order to force us into that should have been theirs. Because of the nature of that last round win, their money isn't fantastic either. So they're down to 3 players here as the site's been lost. JC Stanny, again, trying to do the Lord's work for Immortals. But now it's all fallen onto the last remaining player. Inside Hookah, the position's given away, but Nature is still fighting for this one. 2 quick kills come out from the Cypher main. And there's a 1v1 on site with the flank basically coming through on consistent
composition. And when they played this yesterday, Mark, I was like, is this going to be good enough for Sentinels? Because taking a raise away, the only thing that you have for clearance contact towards this B site, where there's only 1 player in the opposition here for Immortals.
Sick just keeps showing us how versatile his play is, as now he's gone over to Sova. The guy is just playing every possible role and agent throughout a series. It's truly impressive. There'll be a B-side plant where Immortals is trying to retake, but the damage is being dealt early on by Sentinels. A 4-on-3 with the Jet currently low on HP. The heal was utilized on the Sage already, so they won't be able to top off that Jet player. Ooh. And that's now resulted in the death of Dapper and Shazam. Another one coming in for Immortals. Very quickly, that turned around. A great retake from IMT to get back onto this site and kick off this 3rd map with a pistol round win. Stanny up top, trying to squeeze bullets on the edge of that dark cover as he can spot the players on the other side. But it's Sinatra to spill blood first. They've got site control, and there's still so many players here. So yeah, they're on site, but they haven't really fully controlled it. They've just kind of made it there. There's a nice leer coming in from Sinatra, who dissipates, disappears, and gets back into safety. It's now down to the last player, Gangsta, around the corner. Well played in the brawl on the site, and again, Sentinels does what they've done previously. They lose the pistol, but they fire back with the force buy, and they upset the economic flow, the confidence, and the momentum for Immortals.
I just love how they play the A side for Sentinel so far on these takes. It's always Sinatra taking the left side of the maze, trying to gain control towards screens. If there's any type of opposition, he usually falls back and then jumps onto tube, goes on the top of the maze boxes, and he's going to be a turret looking at the rotations towards the spawn side. While he does that, though, once Sentinels takes control of the A side, Sick always puts the wall towards the back side of A, which means now anybody holding towards truck becomes like an aim battle where they have the advantage towards just watching heaven. They don't have to focus towards spawn, and when people are flushing through on the defender side rotate in the front of map, then Sinatra's already on the top of the A tower on the A site and is just mowing everybody down. So the setup is great. There you go. He's back in his tower again. It's actually deciding to push through with so much confidence inside the spawn. Dapper, meanwhile, though, off a self-boost, it seems like, probably with this wall. He looks for a couple of kills, and it just pinch and attack and just melts all the defense. That was it looked like it was maybe a force buy for the Immortals, but we only have a shorty for Chemicals in the end.
Well, you've got him up here on this little ledge, trying to hide around the corner, hoping that someone is foolish enough to wander into this trap. Now, there might be someone that goes this direction, but he also might get flanked in a moment. We do have some movement coming in from Shazam, but he's going to go the wrong way. There's the Tailwind to try to get a better angle, and that did not work out well at all. So now Chemicals is in a tough spot, and Shazam.
But he's very good here holding the A side usually on the map, but this time he's holding towards long B because they're using a lot of utilities to prevent these type of aggressive pushes on the A side. Knowing that Sentinels is going to be on a bonus round, they are going to be aggressive behind his owl drone to push towards the A side. Now it's covered towards the map just to prevent Sinatra from moving forward, so he's forced to fall back towards Maze. But meanwhile, with this dark cover, everybody's pushing in.
Dapper again with the wall. This time it doesn't go underneath Dapper's feet, so he's not able to get the verticality necessary, but it's okay. Because again, they've gained side control and not much can be done here.
It's
Chemicals
crazy.
realizes it's time to get away again. Bonus round. After the res comes through, they've got 4 players up. This is a full buy from Immortals
On that site. So I think 2 are down towards the 4. You can see it right now in these as the spike pulls up. Sorry.
Making me feel like we're able to travel to land and I'm trying to pick up my luggage at the airport. We'll see a push coming through. Yeah, really. Someday soon, hopefully. We'll see a push coming through yet again on the A side, but this time it's actually going to be IMT who strikes first. They managed to slow down the push and pick up a couple of kills in the process. It's still not perfect as it is down to a 3-on-2, and Dappers has got a great angle. IMT where Moose was holding on to that to prevent that ult from being a factor. The wall comes through, but it's not exactly perfect. They're able to sneak back behind it. The ult is utilized by Chemicals, but the knives not connecting. It's Shazam's op that greets him. Quick shots coming out from Shazam yet again, and a flick back onto the last. That's a 4K for Shazam.
From Sentinels towards that B side, not giving a chance to get anything done, but we have a change a little bit, a change of pace. We're looking for a quick flank right now, and that's going to be Chemicals. As we get a res, they're still focused on the A side. They're trying to keep things alive, and it works out. Chemicals does get the classic kill on that flank, but he doesn't aggress even more. He's assigned to fall back just to try to keep Sentinels guessing, as that spike is still holding back. Meanwhile, that gives a chance for Immortals to push out towards Maze. That's 2 more kills. Now they finally open up to try to take down, and manage to take down, rather, the flanker. They could always rotate back to the B side.
So apparently you can still get on that rope even though it's inside the wall. That looks a little awkward. But the spike will plant over on B. Actually, he's going to find a better position for it. Nature looking crisp with the aim on Dapper. 6 able to get around the corner. And taking an advanced position. You can see Gangsta back behind with the Odin, but not going to be a factor as
Chemicals on the B side just in case Sentinels wants to rotate back. And while this happens, though, a nice shot from JC Stani. That's the IG.
There's Fury to take it out. They don't have any other options to try and eliminate that. No damage dealing ult that can get in there and prevent that ult from continuing. Fake port coming in from JC Stani. Spots Dapper trying to slide across slowly on the zip line. Sick, though, with a second shock dart will eliminate that player from that position. So it does come down to a 2-on-3. They're still leery of the...
Plan should come down. They'll give it away for Immortals. They're okay with that. Oh, maybe not. A little bit too slow in the end.
Yeah, good awareness from Chemicals.
Map. Because we talked about it, or I mentioned how good Sentinels look on the attacker side. They won 10-2. Now there's only 3 rounds to go. They finally take the upper hand into this round, but it's already 5-4. JC Stani is still alive in the back of the truck, but Sinatra taking control of this A side heaven. He's able to take down JC Stani. Nature holding in the back of the site. Spike has now been planted. It's a 4 versus 2. Alarm bot triggers one out. He's looking for the lurk kills, and he connects onto Sick.
Still got Chemicals trying to come through with an operator as well. Now Sinatra's in a great position, but it's not even necessary at that point. Shazam is on an absolute heater throughout the series. Shazam's been on one. Nice shot coming out from Chemicals as well. Getting away quickly, trying to dodge incoming damage, and likely to get caught here on the attempted cross. It'll be an upgrade for Shazam, who's
a great way to counter it. You saw the recon dart that came out just to see if there was going to be more opposition coming through, but it's Sinatra that picks up another kill for the Sentinels, and that's a weakened A site. So difficult for the last 2 players, as Gangsta is only able to take down 1, unfortunately.
Oh, my goodness. Just dirty takes on this A site. Immortals, while they may have found some success at stopping it for a short, often relying on one player to pop off and find multiple kills, it almost feels like they just have no stopping power. You've got Chemicals here with the op, who is able to pick off Sinatra, but now trying to run away and again save an opposite situation they've been in before. Dapper goes for the jiggle with the heal, no less, so the healing aura kind of glows out around the corner, gives away the position even further. Chemicals looking to just try and save this as much as possible. Sick is currently coming in from up top. The shot is still on the money from Chemicals. A quick reaction. Now the spike detonates and the round is lost. But
you see the recon darts pinging out a few as well. Let's see how it pans out for the last round of the first half.
Dueling ults coming out. As you heard the Hunter's Fury being utilized. I thought I heard a second pop, but it didn't seem like it. I didn't see any damage being dealt, so I don't know if that got canceled earlier or what that was. Oh, yeah. Sorry. Mistaking. I was mixing up the attacking and defending side. So, excuse me. Chemicals with the ult utilized. It's not going to produce the success that you would want. And again, it's down to one player. You know, you talk about Chemicals' inability to really be in the right position. It just feels like the reads have not been there. You know, they have not been able to figure out where Sentinels is going to go to put that player.
Shells where you don't have the boom bot to get information. It's really in your face Valorant. And if you have people like Shot Up, well, as I speak about it now, if he's able to step up, then that's going to be pretty much a brawl that could come into the favor of the attackers. But you know what? Sentinel seems to say they have different plans. They're just going to shut me up and say, look, we're going to shut down the B site. Only Nature left to go. And Zoms empties his clip to secure that lurking across. We haven't really seen him, and that allows for him to get the surprise kill onto Sick, especially after the recon dart kind of showed that it was going to be a little bit safe there from the long way side. But Zoms, dapper close range at the wall, lines up for the first, even with the second. Now the trade from Shot Up, but it's still a one-man advantage for Sentinels. Thankfully, Zoms is low on HP, and we have a flank ourselves from Chemicals. Now he's stuck. A crossfire coming in from Orange and from Kitchen. Lee was at some point 7 and 10 or something like that. And now he's moving at 8 and 13. Made that 8 and 14.
Control and frequent ults. We saw, I think it was Sick, who had like back-to-back almost ults. It was like an ult, and then like 2 rounds later, he had the ult again. And it's just ridiculous that it's happening at that level of frequency. It's down to 2 players remaining for Immortals. Sinatra is pushed up aggressively, waiting for them to come around the corner. Gonna even go to the ADS on the SMG. Has to worry about Shot Up, who's vertical. There's the heal coming through, but it should be over by Shot Up.
That's it.
Going up on top of the bin as well to try and find a better angle. And we'll clear the head off of Zom's shoulder. You've got Sinatra also using Empress with a way bigger gun. That's going to be the Odin having an insane fire rate. And it already produces success. Now a Lear going out as well to allow that thing to really open up. In the Empress duel, Shot Up comes out on top, quickly taken down in the exchange. It's now all up to Chemicals, who at least gets the first one. There's a smoke coming in. Can the spam come through where it needs to? No, not initially. 5 HP remaining. They haven't even broken a sweat in this series.
Oh, definitely not. Definitely not. And I thought...
Quick maps resulting in the score just quickly piling up for Sentinels. Chemicals. Thought there was one around the corner. It's Sinatra, but he's got backup from Shazam as well. That's frustrating right now. If you're Chemicals, you're like, man, you gotta be kidding me. Just cannot catch a break. And neither can Immortals. Currently sitting at a 5-on-4. An ult being sent out. Hunter's Fury. Does it connect? Yes. So there's Dapper going down. Another pulse coming out. Not where it needs to be, but it's okay. Immortals, they may be staring down the barrel of a 12-4, but they're not giving up yet. They try and make their way out onto B. Zom's there with at least a shutdown onto Nature. They'll throw down the smoke as well. Shazam from up top, point-blank range on his heels, trying to fight him to retake the site.
And that's why you say, like, Chemicals is probably telling himself, you gotta be kidding me. It's just the way that Sentinels are able to play those trades. If somebody were to die from Chemicals at the beginning, he was gonna get immediately traded by Shazam. But with that, a 3 versus 1, we'll see if JC Stani could clutch it.
In position, there's the dash to fly in. First one will be his, but it's not gonna be enough. Sentinels will take the 3rd map in the series, technically the 4th. It'll be a 3-1 victory for Sentinels here in the finals of the very first closed qualifier for North American VCT. Congratulations to them. They will be taking home the lion's share of the prize pool. And of course, the brag